that he didn't start. I mean, he didn't say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it all by myself. Actually, the first order of business for a man named Jesus Christ decided to go and find 12 disciples to help him extend his goals and his movement. And if Jesus Christ himself made that his first order of business, I believe we all should as well. And I'm so proud of Sheila for making that decision. She reached out to everybody. She wasn't nitpicking. Everybody in the country, that she knew. And you can do that now with Zoom. See, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that before. You should reach out to everybody with no hesitation. No hesitation. We even have a video that you can send out now. You don't even have to really do much talking. I gave more energy to my team. The speed and the passion of the leader equals the speed and the passion of the team. That's what I got from that. Right? She goes, last year I had 2 licensed agents. They didn't do much. Maybe perhaps that's because Sheila was more focused on getting results herself. Now she's continuing, not dropping the ball, continuing to get results herself, but she's also, you know, spinning multiple plates at once. In business, it's like a circus. The more plates you can spin at one time will determine your income and your growth, essentially. She started immediately with a Facebook group. She saw a training, guys, and executed immediately. The ones that think, I should do it, maybe I could do it. No, she didn't do that. She executed immediately. In 2019, she had 2 licenses. Today, she's got 5. That's 100% growth. And Sheila, that's how Bruce Koch tells us to, you know, announce our business growth to people. Not, I went from 2 to 5. No, tell them I had 100% in my growth in my business. People listen to that, they're like, wow, 100% growth year after year. If you told other business owners that, they'll think to themselves, oh my gosh, did I have 100% growth? Probably not. Her attitude of gratitude. There's a couple phrases. I don't know why phrases stick in my brain, but they just do when I hear them. And her attitude, I truly believe that the attitude of gratitude is why God continues to bless her with so many opportunities, not results. She gets the results because she works hard and no excuses, but the opportunities show up because she's aware and because God blesses her because of her attitude. Your attitude equals your altitude. Your attitude equals your altitude. How high you soar. If you have stinking thinking, like Zig Ziglar says, you're going to plummet. But if you have an attitude of gratitude, it will determine your altitude. And another way to look at it is attitude can sometimes be way more important than aptitude. Attitude can be sometimes way more important than aptitude. These are phrases that I heard in audios, read in books that I keep with me. And obviously so does Sheila because she's such an amazing person. Hey, she got licensed in 4 weeks and Series 6 licensed in a year. You know, I didn't even get Series 6 licensed in a year. And Samir had to kick and push me to get that license. And I'm grateful that he did at 19, 20, whenever I got it, because like Sheila, it's been very good to me as well. Dante's on the phone here. It's been very good to him. I know it's been good to you, Dante. So like, Answer, get your securities licenses. Start with opening your U4, guys. We do what's right for families. WFG with all the Filipinos can't possibly do what we do for families because they don't have securities licenses. So what else? Despite adversity, guys, oh my gosh. I don't have anybody in my family right now that is undergoing any, well, major health concerns, I'll say. Keyword major. Your ability to succeed in life and inspire people will be determined by your ability to overcome your adversity. There's a difference between IQ and AQ. So the difference between the two is IQ is your intelligence quotient, your ability to learn something and regurgitate it. But that's not what makes you a genius. What makes you a genius is your AQ, your adversity quotient. That's what that is. Your ability to see what's in front of you, really see how I can get past it instead of getting sunk in it, and actually get past it. Right? No, I mean, what a personal story from Sheila, and we appreciate you sharing that. And lastly, the last thing I heard that really stuck out was, don't care what people think. I can tell Sheila does not care what people think. You know, I heard in an audio once somebody talking about that. I mean, one of the greatest recruiters of all time in our own hierarchy. And he said, to get big, you have to think big. But the reason you don't think big is because you always take into consideration what others think about you. So two things about that. Number one, is that why you get up in the morning? Is that why you dress in the morning? He said, what a small thought. He said, what is that, the size and the shallowness of your thought? What people think of you? And secondly, they're not thinking about you. You think the other cash value agents are thinking about what Sheila is, acting or doing or anything like that when they're selling their cash value? No. Nobody's thinking about anyone else. They got their own things, their own problems, their own obligations, responsibilities. Just look within and towards yourself and focus on what your goals are. And I mean, Sheila is a prime example of doing that. So those are my takeaways from there. I mean, it's a pleasure to be in the same presence as you, Sheila, because we learn so, and we're inspired from everything you do and say. To be honest, you speak with your actions more than your words, but when you speak with your words, when you cuss, I feel as though I have to run a mile. I gotta go run a mile because it excites me that much.
Josh,
guys, I am going to share something that we just created yesterday. It's not really anything new, but it's just a tool that you guys can take forth with you. And it's the Cashflow Quadrant. So the Cashflow Quadrant is something you can do on a napkin. It's in passing. Hey, let me show you something real quick, because just the way you're talking, you're telling me you hate your job. You're telling me you're overworked, underpaid. You hate your boss. You can't travel. Nothing. I mean, nothing you're telling me it gives me evidence that your life is good, having a job. Can I show you something real quick? Did you know there's 4 ways that you could make money in this country? Not one. Do you know the difference between active income, passive income, and residual income? The best way to become an incredible recruiter is to ask the best questions. And I memorized a lot of questions from Dante, from Samir, from Christian David. And my favorite thing in this whole wide world to do is the cash flow quadrant. We'll fly by this, and I have my own personal questions for Sheila once we're through. So when I am speaking one-on-one with folks, I'm letting them know that the first thing we teach from somebody to somebody, it comes from a book. This isn't information I created. I got it from a book by a man named Robert Kiyosaki, who has a series of books. The first one in the series is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The second, The Cashflow Quadrant. It's from this second book I'm going to pull from today. And in this book, it says there's 4 ways you can make money in this country. So the first way, really only 90% of people, only the majority of folks do it this way. 90% of people go and work for somebody else as an employee. But when you're an employee, you have no control over your schedule. You have no control over your income. You could have the same title as somebody else in the same department, even as a manager. One shows up late, leaves early, and does half the work, but you show up early, leave late, and do twice the work. Yet you guys get paid the same. They tell you when to show up. They tell you when to go home. They tell you what to do while you're at work. They tell you what to wear while you're at work. They tell you when you can vacation. They control how you can vacation because that's determined by how much you get paid. If you want to travel somewhere, you got to put in a request. And that request has to get granted. See, I thought the days of asking permission to go places were through when I moved out of my mom's house 4 years ago. I used to have to ask permission to my mother to go hang out with my friends. Now I have to ask permission to go somewhere from a boss. Not me. When I think of my income, I think of limitations when I'm an employee. I could be getting double the results as somebody with the same title as me. Yet if I get paid $50,000 a year and they do as well, and I go to my boss Monday morning and say, boss, I'm doubling the results, so why don't you double my income from 50,000 to 100,000? That conversation would not go well on Monday morning. You'd get laughed out of the office. Why? You may deserve it, but revenue, it comes from the same book. Revenue minus expenses equals profits. And companies and business owners want their profits going up and their expenses going down. Here comes, let's just say Sheila as an example, I'll use you. Here comes Sheila asking for more money that she deserves. Well earned. But see, now the company has to take more money out of their pocket to put it into Sheila's pocket. The employee-employer relationship was never created to benefit the employee. If it's between keeping the lights on or keeping you, they're going to keep the lights on. Bye-bye to you. And for that reason, well, those many reasons, I say working for someone is the worst way to make money in America. The land of the free, the land of opportunity. But you might have to do it for a little while until you find something else. If you were to find something better than working for someone, Mr. Potential New Recruit, would you like to hear more about that? See, I'm dropping seeds right there. See, the second way is self-employed. Maybe 4% of folks get here. Really, it's 5%, and we messed up the percentages. But who's self-employed and what comes with that? Well, when you're self-employed, you control when you work, how often you work, which determines your income. The good news is you could work twice as hard in September than you did in August and make double than you earned in August in September. You can't do that in a job. You could work 10 times harder at the job. The next month, you'll still get paid the same as the previous. But who's self-employed? Dentists, doctors, lawyers, Uber drivers, electricians, mechanics, real estate agents, makeup artists, nail technicians, dentists. There's a lot of self-employed occupations out there, but I like to use the example of a barber. Let's say I'm a barber and I cut hair out of my own garage. I make it look really nice. They all love me. I'm the best at what I do, and I make my garage look real fancy. Got the flat screen. I have the refrigerator. We've got beverages. We have futons. It's really nice, and I get paid $1,000 a weekend. Let's say I cut 20 haircuts a weekend, 10 on Saturday, 10 on Sunday. Not bad for a person that only works 2 days out of the week. That's $4,000 a month. That's $50,000 a year. But see, when you're self-employed, the good news is, yes, you'll have a little more freedom, but unfortunately, there will be limitations. Limitations. Okay, and $50,000 a year for a man or woman that only works 2 days out of the week can be comforting. But people get so lost in comfort, $50,000 per year, that they forget that $50,000 a month is possible. On the left side of this quadrant, 100% of your income comes from one person. Therein lies the limitations. Because if all your income comes from you, you get sick, there goes your money. When you vacation, there goes your money. It stops. In order to one day be able to stop working and have freedom, you need to create an income source that's perpetual. Perpetual. Does not stop when you stop. 100% off one is the most dangerous, limiting, unsecure form of income this planet has ever seen. But if I have to choose between employee or self-employed, I'm going self-employed because at least I'm my own boss. We have a phrase we like to say in our firm that says, I have the best boss in the world. Because it's you. Everyone here is on a 1099 contract. You're self-employed. But see, when you get really good at doing something, can you teach it to somebody else? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is when you become a business owner. I was a barber cutting hair out of my garage myself. I opened a barber shop and hired 10 other barbers, beefer barbers, who do exactly what I did. 20 haircuts a weekend. Now my barber shop is cutting 200 haircuts a weekend. Could I have ever done that myself in my garage in a weekend? No, there's not enough hours in a day. There's not enough arms on my body. When you're a business owner, you get to take advantage of three of my most favorite words in the English dictionary: duplication, distribution, and time leverage. See, I was cutting hair by myself out of my garage, but see, then I duplicated what I know into these 10 other barbers, distributed tasks amongst them, not me, them, and leveraged their time. Most people don't understand how you can make $50,000 in 1 month. But I tell them, how many hours a week do you work? And for Sheila, it might be 50, 60 as a nurse. And there's no substitute for hard work. There truly isn't. But an owner thinks, how can I get more results with less effort from me, taking myself out of the equation? If someone gets paid off 50, 60 hours a week and I ask them, Will you ever get paid off 500 hours in a week? Will your company ever do that? No. But if you somehow did get paid off 500 hours of logged in work, wouldn't it make sense then where the $50,000 a month can come from? Yes, but see, you don't have 500 hours in a week in your week. There's only 170 hours in a week. So how do you get paid off 500 hours in a week? Duplicating yourself into other people, leveraging their time. And when you're a business owner, it's not, it's very normal to have no limitations to your income nor your schedule. So it's likely you'll make way more money than any of the other quadrants. What the book says is you can take that money now and invest it. And instead of at the job working super hard for money, now you have money working hard for you. Now you have money working hard for you. One of the world's most richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, who got his millions, actually billions in his case, by investing. He says, if you don't find out a way to make money while you sleep, I guarantee you'll work till you die. That always stuck with me. And Mr. New Recruit, you don't want to work until the day you die, do you? On the left side, well, on the right side, you'll get paid 1% of your income from 100 different places. That is the best way. That is the most secure way. If you lose one source of income, it's not the end of the world. But if you're 100% of your money coming from one person, and you go down, that's your 100% of your income gone. On the left side, you'll only get paid for the work you do. On the right side, you can do something one time and continue to perpetually get paid for the work you already did. I am 23 years old, still getting paid for the work I did when I was 22. Will your company ever pay you in August of 2020 again for the work that you did in August of 2019? Answer, no. The difference between active and passive income is the money Sheila earns for the work Sheila does. Passive income is when Sheila trains a group of individuals to do what she knows how to do, and every time they complete a task, Sheila gets paid. Residual income is when Sheila completes a task herself and continues to get paid from that task she did a long time ago. We are in the business of helping people obtain massive, passive, and residual income. This is not taught in school. You will never hear this from a high school or college professor. And thank God for that, because they say a standard education will earn you a living, but self-education will earn you a fortune. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to stop recording now and open it up for questions.